Welcome back, everybody, to Lady Arcader Super Showcase 2025. We are just about to get started with our next run of Hylics 2 with Laurie D. Bunnykins. Before we do, I would like to remind you that we are still working on that Hug Luna incentive. We don't have a ton of time to make it, so I would really love to see that number go up during this run. That would be incredible. And going towards that, we did actually, sorry. I would just like to remind you that when you submit an incentive or submit a donation, you can apply your donation to both a poll and a target. So if you were deciding to vote on the best meme of the event, like say you were putting money towards Wormy, then you can also click target afterwards to apply it towards the Hug Luna incentive. And we would appreciate that ever so much. It is !donate in chat to do that. And with those reminders, we are ready. So I'm going to go ahead and get us sent over to our next run. So Laurie, whenever you're ready, take it away.
All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to whatever you're looking at. So this is Hylics 2. It's the second game of an RPG series with a totally stop-motion clay style that is really cool, and this game is really cool. I'm really excited to show it to you. With me today, I have my good friend Marxcie, who commentated the first game for me on Frame Fatales earlier this year, when she had not seen it before, and she hasn't seen this one either.
I've seen less of this one. I'm just entranced by Squiggle Bob here hitting the Luddy, you know?
Yeah.
What is going on?
Something you'll notice very quickly compared to the first game is that this game has a lot of motion. But
all right.
With that being said, let's get into motion. Time is going to start when I start a new game here, which I'm going to do in 3, 2, 1, go. We have a whole cutscene here. I don't know what's happening in it. We're not watching it. The first thing I'm going to do is switch my controls so that I don't need to use a run button. Okay, yay.
Oh my goodness.
But yeah, this is Hylics 2. It functions kind of like on a isometric-ish overworld, and it's a turn-based RPG. So we're going to be doing some fights later on. So the first order of business is to get to those fights and prepare for them. We're making it to New Modal, the main city of the game here, where we are going to go get our first party member. Now, you said you didn't remember any character names, so
nope.
We're gonna take a look at this guy. I can also zoom the game in and out, which is kind of cool. So who is this guy?
Oh, that's Trizome Billy.
Yeah, so that's Pongorma.
Oh, right, my bad.
Once we grab Pongorma, he also gives us this air dash ability, and I'm instantly going to make use of it to do a little trick here. We have this item in our inventory called the mini crystal, which kind of works as soft lock prevention. We can warp either to the last load point of the game or just back to Wayne House where the game starts. But if we make a save and then load it, since the mini crystal just reads to warp you to the last place your game loaded, we can place that last spawn point anywhere. So if I put it in the air and then use the mini crystal on the ground, that allows me a window of time where I can jump in midair. And I can use that to break into this treasure vault about 3 bosses early, and grab some really good late game gear and $375.
Yeah, I saw you pick up an organ fart or whatever it was called.
Yeah, the organ fort.
Things
like these you wish you had an organ fort.
Ah, yes.
Yeah, we picked up some really good equipment and a lot of money. And with that done, we are going to head to the first dunjon of the game, pretty much. We are going to head to Viwax's edifice. The king, I guess you would call him, of New Modal, Lord Blairall, has been taken, and we gotta go get him back.
Right.
So we're gonna head to Viwax's edifice here, and so usually the deal is that when you talk to Deduzmul here to add him to your party, he will give you this paddle so you can go on that boat, and you see Blairall in the jail cell, and you usually have to go all the way up the tower to fight Viwax to get the jail key, to open these jail cells and free him. But I'm actually just gonna like use this piece of geometry to get over the jail cells and talk to him, and that is going to skip the entire first boss fight of the game. I used the wrong button there, but it's fine, because I still freed him, so I can just like go back in my menu and go actually where I want to go. But yeah, no, since we talked to him, that is what like lets you get to the second area of the game. So by just jumping over that jail cell, we skip the entire first dungeon and boss.
There's a lot of Wayne in this, I'm noticing.
Yeah, there's a lot of them. It's the Wayne house. But yeah,
I
no,
see.
like that's just a whole boss fight we don't do. It's a really cool skip. But with that skip done, we are now going back to New Moldal. We're gonna get our airship now that we've freed King Blairall, but we're also gonna actually gear up for the rest of the run. So I'm gonna buy this organ fort from this shop, so I have a second one now, and I'm also gonna grab some juice. In this game, you can learn skills by watching TV, and there were a lot of good skills in the first game that we would pick up throughout the run. In this run, we're only getting one. When I give the juice to this dude here, he's going to give me the key to his house. Good trade.
All right.
And we are going to enter his house to get Soul Crisper. So as you can see by this animation, Soul Crisper lights things on fire. The name of the game in fighting like big bosses in this game while a little bit under buffed is damage over time. It's really strong. So we're gonna try and set a lot of that up, and I'm also gonna set up a menu storage here. You can kind of tab menus in this game for some reason. So what I do there is I tab out of the save menu to keep it open, and then I'm gonna store a control menu, and then get through this cutscene. When I store a control menu, I can use it to set my game state as out of a menu in situations where I wouldn't be able to open the menu otherwise. So in this instance, I should not do the thing that breaks my whole game.
Yeah, I was gonna say you soft locked earlier doing this in practice.
Yes,
but...
and I almost did it again. I caught myself though. So what happened there was I used the menu storage to make a save after I got the item I wanted from that NPC, and then store the control menu so that I could gain access to movement in an area where I'm not supposed to have it, so that I could load the save after the item, and it makes me skip watching that cutscene while allowing me to stay in town and also collect the $100 that you can get from him after that cutscene. The other cutscene skips in this run, since cutscenes are considered a different map, you can just use initial spawn point to warp back to Wayne House while in the cutscene, but that has the negative effect of putting you in Wayne House, which we don't always want. But for the other two cutscenes, it's usually fine to go back to Wayne House. But with that being said, we have our airship now, so we are going to do our first fight of the game, and also our fourth and final party member. If you are excited for Hollow Knight Silksong, get ready to meet Hornet.
I'm so glad she came back for the sequel. Look at her.
Yeah. Before this fight, we have to be careful because we want to get the gear that's in this fridge without actually activating the boss fight. And then I'm also going to use this item I have that permanently buffs Wayne's attack by 1. And then we're going to get into the first boss fight. Or not the first boss fight, the first standard fight of the run. So the main strategy of this fight is that the Ectro, the enemy on the far right, has sleep spores as a counterattack. So every time we hit it, it will put the entire arena to sleep. But because I used the bath in Wayne House after getting to Dusmoln, the 3 party members I had before this fight are currently clean, which means they are immune to status effects for the first couple turns. And we can use that to like make all the enemies fall asleep while all of our party members just stay awake.
Right.
Here we get introduced not only to Soul Crisper, but also 2 character-specific abilities. Pongorma's lightning does 175% damage, but leaves him stunned for a turn. And Wayne has dissolution, another damage over time that also weakens the enemy. So those are two other really important skills for this run because they're just really powerful.
Can I
You
step
good,
in with a
Marxcie?
quick donation?
Yeah, now's actually a good time. I just kind of have to do like a little maze before the next boss fight here.
Okay, perfect. We actually had an $80 donation come in from Anonymous that says, "Let's go lesbians." And that went towards our meme poll for Bergie being the best meme of the event. Just as a reminder, when you're putting in your donations, you can assign to the poll your favorite meme of the event, whatever dollar amount you'd like. And then also to our current target to hug Luna in the Cavern of Dreams run coming up. And she's a young artist bat, which I relate to, so she really needs that hug. So if we can just go ahead and get those donations in, I would be so appreciative.
Absolutely, that's a great incentive. I love that incentive. And Marcy, how does this make you feel?
I don't know. Where are we? Why are we in
We're in the domain of the
Cavern?
worm.
Oh, the domain of the... Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
There's
So
little worms.
we don't need to wait for this path to spawn visually at certain parts. We can just walk. The hitboxes are always there, but the path I took is the fastest path to get to the first boss fight of the run and the second boss fight of the game. This is... I mean, it's the domain of the worm. Who do we think we're fighting?
Oh, it's the creature.
You want to read that name for me?
Ah, yes, Fonthentropelline.
Pretty good. I usually say Fonthentropine, but...
Ah, right.
Yeah, so this is probably the most annoying boss in the run. I also stored a menu before the fight so that I can skip a cutscene after the fight. But as a forewarning, I will need complete silence once the boss dies.
Okay.
But yeah, so this boss immediately starts by inflicting themselves with fast, which means that on their turn they will have 2 actions, because that's fair and fun. And about halfway through the fight, they also gain angry, which makes them more powerful. Fast can really mess with your damage over time timers, because it'll only take damage once per set of turns, but it will make the effects wear off twice as fast. So here he's going to do 2 attacks that puts everyone to sleep, and then 2 more attacks. We're hoping for 100 kicks, because it is an AoE attack, and when somebody gets hit in this game, it wakes them up. So ideally, it would have happened there, and everyone in the party would have woken up. Unfortunately, I had a really bad situation here. He hit... Wayne died to damage over times, and the character that woke up and lived didn't have enough will to cast any other damage over times. But thankfully, I am... No, not thankfully. I'm dead.
Oh.
So I'm going to reload the save there. Yeah, that is one of the most unfortunate boss fights in the run, because if you just like get bad luck with who wakes up and who he targets, there's definitely unwinnable situations there. But it's not a long fight. We can run it back.
I feel like this is the kind of creature that scientists would be like, yeah, at any given moment, there's 10,000 of this on their body, and it's really helpful for you, actually.
Yeah. But yeah, the whole thing with fast making damage over times deteriorate fast is why I'm like constantly reapplying them in this fight. But if you have another announcement while I'm on the second try of this fight, now's a great time.
Yeah, absolutely. I would just like to mention that when we meet that $250 incentive for hugging Luna, we will be so much closer to reaching $4,500 raised for care, which is an incredible milestone since we are still trying to beat our record of last year of $6,051 raised for care in 2024. So any dollar amount we can do, that would be incredible.
Please attack someone else. Okay, I think this is winnable. In fact, I think we just won. So I'm gonna need silence for a moment here. No, okay, he's not dead yet. Oh, there's a chance this still goes bad. We won. Wayne's still alive. Okay, so I need to do a menu storage that's invisible. So... there we go. For some reasons, that's not always the case with that kind of menu storage, but during that cutscene, it is. So I use like the audio cue of the menu sounds to know when I'm actually on my mini crystal. But that's the second and that's the first boss of the run, and the most like unforgiving probably. The other two fights I can get bad RNG, but I can usually adapt around it. So yay! We're gonna move on. That shield, or that worm, was blocking the shield around Foglast, which means we can go to Foglast now because we took down the shield. The story of this game is that after the first game, when Moonlord Gibby blew up the moon and blew himself up with it, he exploded into many pieces. A major piece that is required towards reviving him fell in the hands of Lord Blairall, and he buried it to make sure that no villains who want to revive Gibby would gain access to it. But a Dozier gained access to it. So that's not good. So he's currently working on the process to revive Gibby, and we're trying to stop him. And that's going to bring us to Foglast here, where a Dozier's palace is, and we're going to waltz right up to him. Usually this area has a little bit of a puzzle where you're pressing a lot of buttons to find a bunch of keys. Oh yeah, also slapping that guy just refills my health full. We had to do a puzzle where we'd have to get a lot of keys and like things like that. But we can skip it all with another mini crystal jump here, known as Bridge Skip. So I'm going to make my way up to the drawbridge to his castle. I'm going to jump on this computer and glide for a little bit and then save and load. And then I'm going to try and land right there and use the mini crystal to my last spawn point and do another mini crystal jump. And that will bring me... we're at the palace now. I do need to go into the basement to get rid of the force field in the palace here, but this is a great opportunity to grab another good piece of gear that's just like a 3-second detour. It's right here. And we also have 2 more of those items from earlier that permanently buff a character's attack. I'm actually going to give both of them now to Pongorma because with that lightning ability especially, he has some of the best value per attack in the game. But then, since it's a little bit faster than navigating through the basement, I'm just going to do the mini crystal jump again. And we're going to make our way to the 3rd boss fight, so barely any downtime between those fights. And this one is probably the most interesting in my opinion. I'm definitely going to drop a save before him, though. So this is a Dozier and Carcero. This is a duel fight that's got a lot of things to track, and we want to try and keep up damage over times on both of them. How do you feel about this creature?
It's like E.T. but in a picnic blanket, and then you got I think I've seen that a bar of soap at Bed Bath & Beyond. They're so fleshy.
So the main gimmick of a Dozier and Carcero is that Carcero has this like protective foil around him, and when he does, he'll always block damage, but the first direct damage source that he gets hit by will unwrap him. And whenever he is unwrapped on a Dozier's turn, a Dozier will always use his turn to re-wrap Carcero. So we always want to make sure Carcero is unwrapped so that a Dozier won't attack us, because if we were getting hit by 2 things at once, that would actually be like really hard for this fight. This is also the only time we're going to see Somsnosa's character-specific skill, Wave Artifice. It's a somewhat weak damage over time that does or not damage over time. AOE, area of effect. So it hits everybody, but it's a little bit weaker than a standard attack. Thankfully, even at this point in the fight, because we got good luck with who got hit by what attacks. We're gonna be at the end point of this fight and still have every character alive. Samsnosa is about to die to her damage over times the next turn she acts, so I'm hoping if... Okay, this is just an AoE. This is off to a really slow animation. It's kind of unfortunate to get this. I think Samsnosa will be the only character that outright dies, though, even with Wayne's damage over time. Yeah, so I'm just going to do 3 snaps against a Dozier here, and it should put him below 40 HP, which is enough for the Burning and the Dissolution to kill him. That is probably one of the best case scenarios of that fight, other than the long attack animation that he did for me.
We found 10 meat.
Yes. And I'm going to... There we go. I'm going to set up a menu storage into this cutscene. Not to skip this cutscene, but after this cutscene, there is a... we're going to get put into a battle against the, like, beta form of the revived Gibby. There he is. And usually once it gets to his turn, he'll, like, use dynamite, but we can just force lose the fight ourselves to get into the post-loss cutscene, which I can then use my menu storage to skip. And that skips, like, this cutscene is the longest by, like, far. It's like a minute and a half at least. So that's a nice one to be able to skip.
Mm-hmm.
So now we're heading into the final dungeon of the game. Gibby has revived himself, risen his castle, the Hylics Xylem, from the sea, and turned everybody into chaos. And that's not good. I fell in the water. So we're gonna go stop him. And the final dungeon has some of the more, I'd say, normal skips in the run, but they're still skips, and they still skip most of the dungeon. But it's a really fun part of the run. It used to not be a very fun part of the run. It used to be a very demanding part of the run where you had to do a lot of really tricky screens, and this game has no run button, and so if you get into an encounter, that pretty much just kills the run. But with the current route and current skips, we have like very little risk of actually running into an encounter in this dungeon, so hopefully that's not me jinxing it. Just doing one more equipment swap here. I'm gonna get my full health back, and then we're in the main body of the dungeon here. So first order of business, and I'm going to do reservoir skip. So I can kind of jam myself against these walls here, and the game, I think, is an anti-soft block prevention. If I'm like, can I open the chest around you, please? Thank you. If you like are jammed against a wall like that in midair for a long enough time, the game will put you in a grounded state so you have like better range of movement, and we can use that to kind of climb that wall. We get a really good healing item out of that, but also the gimmick of this dungeon is that you have to like go throughout the dungeon to like drain these pools of liquid, and that is usually, doing that skip lets us instantly drain what is usually the last pool you would need to drain in the dungeon. So we're going to be able to just go up here and near instantly get the key to the final boss door. I'm just going to do a save and a load here to manipulate my mini crystal one last time, and then once we make our way into here, this is the pool I drained. Here is the vessel room key, and then I can use my mini crystal, make my way back to where I did the save. And there's going to be 2 enemies here that I will have to worry about dodging. One of them is on the right there, thankfully. This one is a little bit scary because the enemies here can actually... Okay, he didn't notice me. Cool. They can like move during the animation of this door opening, and it can be really scary. But enemies usually only notice you if they're at like the same or similar elevations as you. So since that guy was on the railing, I like stayed on the main path, and he didn't see me because our heights were too different.
Thou art not even a larva.
Yeah, now it's time to fight Gibby. while he is working on sitting in the pool that will reform his body. So this fight is really tricky, but the way the run works around it is really cool. So this run kind of has a big cycle to it about his counterattack. So as you can see, his counterattack will make him reflexively summon a minion. This is a progeny. They're evil. They have a very high likelihood of giving Gibby a healing item that will cure his status conditions, or some other, like, shielding technique, or just something really bad. So Wayne getting hit is bad here. Gibby has like health thresholds where he can't one-shot you in theory if you have enough health, and Wayne is the only character who doesn't have enough health to like survive a teardown when every other character would. So I have to revive him here, and he's not going to get a chance to attack this turn, which not only sucks that he doesn't get a chance to attack this turn, but the fact that he's not able... that I also have to use my revive already when that's not the last chance that Wayne dies is like really scary. But the cycle of the fight is all based around this move, the Killer Trees. The Killer Trees is a AoE attack, so it hits our whole party, does a whole lot of damage, and at the end of it, all of his minions will die. The way his odds work is that he's very unlikely to do this attack when he has 3 or less minions on the field, but he's much more likely to do it if he has 4 or more minions on the field, and the maximum he can have at one time is 6. So the cycle of this attack, of this fight, since progenies don't attack on the turn that they spawn in, and that they're also slower than Gibby, is that if we force Gibby to do Killer Trees every other turn, he will always kill his minions before they ever get a chance to move. And that's the cycle that we're trying to upkeep. We're just trying to stop them from acting at all costs. Thankfully, I got a good case here where Teardown hit Samsnosa, so I'm going to have Deduzmul use a Cupcake on her, which is a healing item that also grants the defending status, which heavily cuts the amount of character that damage takes by the next thing they get hit by. So she'll be able to survive the Killer Trees that's upcoming, and we're going to be able to keep the fight moving. That being said, though, since I've already talked about the main cycle of the fight, and we're still about only halfway through Gibby's health, Momo, if you have any announcements you want to read while we work on this fight, it's a great time to do so.
Yes, absolutely. I would love to remind everyone when you're getting your donations in for that Hug Luna incentive, just exactly where your dollars go to. So for instance, when Care receives your donations, they invest 9 out of every $10 directly into programs. So we have less than $200 left on that incentive. For $133, you can provide a refugee family of 4 with mattresses and blankets. That's huge. It's an entire family. So your money goes so far, and Care can use everything they can get. It's just a wonderful cause, and I'm so happy that we're raising money for them.
Thank you so much for that. And I also should check in. Marxcie, how do you feel about this fight?
Okay, maybe I'm just... It's so fleshy, and every time you say Gibby, I just think of iCarly, and that's a weird connection to make to this game.
That's fair. Yeah.
Yeah. This is a biblically accurate Gibby.
So at this point in the fight, we are done using healing items, so whoever that teardown hit is going down. Get your 07s for Samsnosa, please. She's not going to make it.
No, not my goat.
And Silk Song gets delayed again.
Can't do this. These friends of ours love Samsnosa.
Oh, she lived that.
Oh, okay. So, okay.
Me when I
Silk
lied.
Song. September 4th, not going anywhere. Still on the menu.
Yeah. Thanks to the other runner of this game in chat fact-checking me, because I don't know my health values well enough. But the goal right now is that I want to make sure Gibby's at a very specific amount of health, because I don't fully know the formula. It's not guaranteed that progenies will insta-die when he dies. And as you can see, it didn't happen here. But I'm trying to make sure I don't spawn too many at the end of this fight. And also, like, that if I do spawn too many, they will die. So I didn't do it perfectly, but we got through the fight. We did. It matters. We did what matters, you know? So the Hylics Xylem is collapsing. We've done it. We've saved the world from Giddy yet again. We are going to fall onto a stage, and then we're gonna find a mountain eventually, and there's a button at the top of that mountain. Time is when we hit that mountain, or when we hit that button at the top of the mountain. They're like cheering for us, but we gotta go to the cutscene of all time.
Yay!
But yeah, this run was pretty good. We had a death to the worm, but like that's bound to happen during event. And time. And I would love nothing more, Marxcie, than to just let you watch this ending cutscene.
Oh, I'm so excited. All right. All right. All right. Oh. 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 Huh. I feel like I missed some lore in what was happening in this game.
No. I think I covered most of it.
It's an Airwane. Overwhelmingly positive on Steam, right?
Oh no, I don't have this game on Steam.
All right, my bad.
I have the itch.io version.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Look at them go.
This is just a call of all the enemies in the game. I love them.
There's just a fish.
And then he's grooving.
Oh my god.
Oh, he's got moves.
Oh my goodness gracious. Well, the good thing is I know just as much about this game as I did before I watched this run.
I'm glad to hear. Thank you all so much for watching Hylics 2. I love this game so much. The run's so fun. The game itself is really fun. If you want to play it yourself, I absolutely recommend it. I skipped a lot and also didn't show off a lot of side stuff. Shoutouts to Mason Lindroth, who made literally this whole thing, and Chuck Solomon, who did the music. This game's crazy. And also shoutouts to Brutely and RJ Smengit, who are the two who really shaped this run more than me. I'm not a great router or glitch finder, but those two are. So thanks to them. And thank you all so much for watching. Enjoy the rest of the final day of the Lady Arcade Super Showcase. If you want to find me, my Twitch is Laurie D. Bunnykins. My Blue Sky is lauriedbunnykins.fastestfirst.com. And that's all I have. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
Awesome. Thank you both so much. That was an incredible run. I do have questions, but I feel like also I have answers. I don't know how to feel about it. But that was so good.
Something.
Yeah, I feel something. But again, thank you so much. We are going to go ahead and get set up for our next run here. So we're going to take a little break. Everybody in chat, if you want to get up, get a little snack, have a little hydration. It's brunch time where I am, so waffles maybe. I don't know. But we will be right back with more Lady Arcader Super Showcase 2025. I hope you enjoyed that little stretch break, everybody. Welcome back. It is that time. My time at the host desk has reached its end for this event. But I wanted to say thank you so much for having me. This was my first time hosting for any event, and for Lady Arcaders, I love them so much. They're just doing a fantastic thing this weekend, raising money for CARE, which is such a good cause. I will be leaving you in the incredibly talented and capable hands of our very own NBZ, who is wonderful. So please, just give them the love as well, and let's keep getting money raised for that Hug Luna incentive, because again, think of me, think of the artist. We all need hugs, and I just would, personally appreciate that. So thank you again so much, and have a great rest of your day, everyone.